Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today we are going to talk about Selfheal. Ow. I went out into my garden and I harvested some Selfheal. This is what it looks like. I'll make sure there's a close-up photo for you somewhere. Selfheal is technically a weed. You can find it blooming probably all over your yard in the mid to late summer, which is the time of year that it is right now here. I grow Selfheal on purpose in my garden because it makes harvesting so much easier. When you're picking it out of your yard, you know, there's other weeds and grasses and things like that. This just makes it super easy. If there is a weed, it's like one as opposed to hundreds of them. And so I can harvest, like this took me 5 minutes to harvest this basket full. So I grow it on purpose in my garden. You can too. You can buy seeds, you can save seeds and grow them if you want to. Let's talk about how to identify Selfheal. So the first thing I already told you, it blooms in late summer. It looks a lot like purple dead nettle, but purple dead nettle blooms in the springtime. So if you see a square stem with a purple flowers on the top like so, and it's in the mid to late summer and it's in your yard, it very well could be Selfheal. And this is a weed you're going to want to harvest every single year. It's probably the most scientifically studied weed out there, and it has tons and tons of medicinal uses. And make sure you stay to the end because we are going to talk about those. First, I'm going to tell you some ways to preserve it so you can use it all year long and not just fresh in late summer. I take a portion of it and I dehydrate it. I use a dehydrator, but you can use whatever method you like for drying your herbs. The dehydrated Selfheal can be used in teas and it can be used in bath water. I'll go over uses later. I'm also going to take a portion of it and make a tincture, and I put 50% of fresh plant matter into a jar. Any size jar is fine. If you only find a little bit, use a little jar. And 50%, and then I'll fill it all the way up to the top with 100 proof vodka. I will then put it in a dark, cool place, give it a shake every day for 6 weeks, and then strain it and bottle it. That will last forever if it's stored properly. And in a cool, dark place, I use dark jar to store the tincture in once it's strained. The other method of preservation is an oil infusion. So you'll take dried plant matter, it must be dried first. You'll fill it up halfway, and you'll fill the remainder of the jar up to about, 1.5 inches or so. I use either avocado oil or a grapeseed oil. It has a little bit of longer shelf life than olive oil, but still it won't last forever. So I would plan on, if you want to have an oil infusion year round, I would plan on making a new one every year, or at the latest every 2 years. The oil infusion can be, I promised I was going to turn my phone off in my last video. Let me do that right now. Okay, and we're back. Oil infusions can be used just as is once they're done processing, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. Or they can be mixed in with beeswax and made into a salve. And that's my favorite method of application. It's just like less greasy and kind of sticks onto your skin for a longer period of time. But it really just depends on what you're using it for. So I told you how to make the oil infusion, but I didn't tell you the trick. So the trick to an oil infusion is to keep it warm. I use a seed mat and I keep it warm for 6 weeks, shaking it every day just like the tinctures. And then I'll strain it and bottle it, same as the tinctures. And then at that point, once the oil infusion is done, then you can make a salve or a lip balm or a lotion or whatever it is that you want to make out of it. I'm just going to make a salve because that's what I use here. Now that you know how to preserve it, let's talk about how to use these different variations. Oh my gosh, my colander is in my way. I talk with my hands. Oh. Okay, back to the tea. So once you have your dried herb and you say, I want to make a tea, you can make your tea like how you make your tea when you are going to drink a cup of tea. I do a bigger quantity, so I throw a bunch of dried herb into a bowl, I heat up my kettle, and I pour, you know, a huge bowl full of water, and I put a lid on it and I let that steep for half an hour. Now, if you're just going to, you know, have a sip, I mean, don't make a big bowl like that. I make a big bowl like that if I'm going to use it in a bath. The tea for a bath can be used to soothe any sores that you have on your body. You can use it in a sitz bath if you have herpes or hemorrhoids or some other sore there, or if you have chicken pox or monkey pox, which is, I guess, going around right now. You can pour the Selfheal tea into your bath and soak in it, and it will help to heal those wounds. Selfheal is extremely anti-inflammatory and has a lot of healing properties. That's one way that you can use the Selfheal. You can also make a smaller portion of tea and put it in a spray bottle, and you can spray it in your mouth. It can be used as a gargle if you have a sore throat. If you have any lesions in your mouth at all, you can spray it right in there, and you can swallow it. It's perfectly safe to consume. And you can drink the tea for some of the ailments that I'm going to talk to you about for the tincture. You're just not going to get as much of the medicinal properties in through a tea as you will with a tincture. It's a lot more concentrated. So speaking of tinctures, let's go ahead and move on to the uses of a tincture. Once you have it made, you can use it for so many things, you guys, it's going to blow your mind. The Selfheal tincture is anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antioxidant. So it covers a whole lot of ailments. As I mentioned earlier with the tea, you can also use it for a sore throat, fever. If you have canker sores, cold sores, you can use it for that. If you have any kind of virus at all, you can use the Selfheal tincture to help regulate your immune system. It'll help clear that virus out. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say it's a cure, but scientific studies have shown that it's effective in real serious viruses such as HIV, HPV, and herpes. Like I said, not a cure, but it's really going to help modulate your immune system. It's going to help your immune system fight better for you and help at least start to tamp down that virus so that you can start to feel better. Selfheal is also good for allergies. It's a mild diuretic, so if you're having some water weight that you need some help, you know, just kind of pushing that through, Selfheal tincture will help you with that. And it's also good for cancer. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much Selfheal to take for some real serious ailments like HIV and cancer. What I want to tell you though is that I encourage you to grow it and I encourage you to use it. A standard dose for Selfheal tincture for things like allergies and other viruses and minor complications with your health or maintenance of your immune system would be 1 to 3 dropperfuls 1 to 3 times a day. And I always say this, start slow, 1 drop, see how your body responds, and then move up from there. And talk to your naturopath or talk to your doctor about the proper quantities for dealing with really severe viruses or cancer. That's really just a tip of an iceberg of what Selfheal can do. I hope that it encourages you to kind of delve into it a little bit and find out how amazing it really is. It's been studied, it's effective. This is the herb that I'm really most excited about. I'm excited about all of them, but this one, because it's so well studied, it's so effective and so easy to find, it grows pretty much everywhere. There's just no reason not to have it and not to have it in your arsenal of your medicine cabinet. So lastly, I'm going to talk about the infused oil. You can use it as a massage oil for things like pain and inflammation, cramps, and you know, stuff like that. Or you can use it as a salve, which is what I use it for most of the time. The salve is excellent for just general first aid. If you have a burn, if you have a wound, if you've got like a pustule that needs an infection drawn out of it, then you can apply that salve, cover it up, and it will help draw that infection out of your skin. It's good if you have clogged lymph nodes. If you have a cold sore, you can put it in a lip balm. If you get the cold sores on the outside of your mouth, you can apply it directly to that and it will heal faster. It can also be used for any kind of cuts or scrapes. It can be used on herpes as well. So the tea can be the tincture. That would burn if you applied it directly to an ulcerative area, but you can do it. I don't usually recommend that people use a tincture in their genital area because it can dry out the skin, and same thing with on the mouth too. I mean, you can spray it in, like if you have a mouth ulcer, that would be fine. Like inside, if you've got like a canker sore or whatever down there, you can spray a tincture in there. But the salve would be good on the genital areas or the mouth, you know, any of your mucous membranes. You're gonna want, I mean, don't put it in your eyes. Like, don't put any of this in your eyes. But, you know, the mouth or the genital areas, or, you know, your bum, if you've got hemorrhoids, you can use it for that. And I mean, really, I could go on for days about Selfheal, but the longer I'm talking to you, the longer this is sitting here, not in the jars. So I'm gonna go wash this. I'm gonna put some of it in my dehydrator, and this isn't a lot. I have more out there. So today I'm just gonna make a tincture and dry a little, and then I'll make an oil infusion another day. But I already told you how to make them, so you won't see me again probably on Selfheal. But I thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope you found it like inspiring and exciting, right? Because there's this weed and it does all these amazing things. I think that there's another herb video coming up next if you're into that kind of thing, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe to my channel, help me grow. Let me know you're out there, so, you know, put a comment down there if you know, have something to say or something to add. You know, maybe you want, you know, some of the people that are watching the video, you know how you watch a video, and while you're watching the video, you're reading the comments, right? So if you have something interesting to add to Selfheal, something I didn't mention that it works really well for, if you can add that into the comments down below so other people can just have more information about this amazing herb. All right, I'm rambling now. Time for me to go. So have a great day, guys, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.